Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Unfiltered and Unstoppable podcast. I am your host, Just Before Dark. So I'm going to address the elephant in the room, aka the only elephant that I'm the only one that noticed this elephant. I'm sure no one else fucking noticed this elephant, but I'm going to address it. I have been doing this podcast every single day, posting at 8 a.m. every single day for the last, 13 days in a row now. I've been fucking killing it. I'm going to acknowledge that. Okay. That's awesome. But today I did not. I am actually recording this at 10 a.m. on Monday morning, and this will go up, hopefully by 11:30. This is a huge thing because I had a choice this weekend, right? I had my daughter's birthday. Her birthday is actually Friday, but we celebrated her birthday this weekend. She had a birthday little party. She had two friends over. I had my good friend come over with her son, and my mom came into town. Right. And then also on top of that, I have a book club, and we met yesterday afternoon, and I actually held my first ever author came onto my book club, and I hosted this kind of interview style chit chat meet and greet for about an hour and a half. So a lot of things happened this weekend. So with that said, I had already pre-planned a lot of my stuff that was going to go out this weekend, so that way I could focus on the things that mattered, my family and everything else I had going on. With that said, I did not pre-record Mondays. I felt like I would have enough time during the weekend to kind of pre-record this podcast. And it got to a point where I definitely could have. I could have chose to make yesterday the priority, yesterday evening, the priority to record this podcast. But my daughter really wanted to have a Nerf gun fight. And since my mom was in town, we hadn't had just family dinner in a couple days, just the three of us, me, my husband, and my daughter. And so old me with the anxiety and everything like that would have been like, oh my God, I said I would do something. I have to do it. That's the way it has to work. I have to do it. So I either have to stay up late or I have to cut out other things to make this work, because this does matter to me. This is something that matters to me. Right. But I knew me, right, that rethinks things differently, says, okay, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? The podcast will just go up a few hours later. It's going to be okay. Nobody's going to notice. Maybe people notice, but nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to be like, oh my God, the world is ending because this didn't go up exactly at 8. Also doesn't mean I don't get the opportunity to mark off the fact I did the podcast for the day. It just means it's done a little bit differently. And so with that mindset, I was able to enjoy the evening with my daughter. We had a Nerf gun fight. Her and I started the Minions movie, Despicable Me 4. It was fucking fantastic. We're about 50 minutes in. We still have 45 minutes left. I'm really enjoying the movie. But yeah, the mindset shift was there. But had it been a normal situation before, I would have probably almost overthought everything and then either done nothing, which I've done in the past. You get so overwhelmed with how much you have to do that you just fucking do nothing. Or I would have prioritized the wrong stuff for the wrong reasons. This matters to me. This podcast matters to me. But so does hanging out with my daughter, right? So things can be done. Sometimes they just look different. And that was one thing I had to learn as I started to pile more and more on in my life. I am a mom, I am a wife, but I am still me, right? So I have my own goals, my own ambitions, my own dreams, and chasing all of those matter, going for those matter. But also the typical roles of being a good mother, helping with homework, all that matters too, right? So I don't have to give up a piece of myself. I just have to figure out how to fucking make it work. And this was one of those moments of I can make it all work. It just might look differently day to day. So this is my gentle reminder to you that have a little grace with yourself. Figure out what is the biggest priority, and then everything else just kind of see where it can fit. And if every day looks a little bit different because you have different priorities for different days, that's okay. That's okay. Just kind of go with the flow. But anyway, so I'm here now, kind of with that was just a tiny epiphany, because I was like, oh yeah, that's such a good feeling. It also reminds you that yep, sometimes shit doesn't work out perfectly. Sometimes you have these goals, and we've talked about this before. Sometimes you have the goals and you have a little bit of a slip up. Don't fucking quit. Don't fucking stop. This weekend, like I said, my daughter's birthday party, she was very adamant. At the birthday party, she wanted mac and cheese. I make the best mac and cheese. That's my thing. I don't cook. I make two things: potato soup and mac and cheese. And we made the mac and cheese for her birthday. Huge hit. And then ironically, my mother-in-law made potato soup for a church thing she had this weekend. Up in Indiana, she said out of 15 crock pots, the only one that was empty was your potato soup. Only two I think I can make. I can't cook to save my life. But I made the mac and cheese, and she said, I want parlor donuts, which here in Florida, fucking parlor donuts are fantastic. I don't know if they're anywhere else, but and I'm on my diet. I'm like, don't eat the donuts. That was the big thing. Like, don't eat the donuts. So you could stay true to that. But I did have the mac and cheese, right? I did have the mac and cheese. I went in knowing like that's most likely gonna happen, and that there's my grace with myself. Like, uh, and maybe it wasn't quote unquote exactly how like I wanted that to go, but I knew it would. You know what I mean? Like I almost like knew it would, and I was okay with that. So setbacks happen, things happen. I'm being honest with you, right? Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's so perfect this weekend. No, it wasn't. Like you know what I mean? It looked differently. There was one night, I think it was Friday night, that it wasn't until 8 p.m. that Ryan and I realized we hadn't even gotten our first workout in for the 75 hard challenge. We walked a fuck ton that night. We went on 2 long walks. I was up until 1 in the morning. But by the time I finished my reading, we hadn't done anything, like anything that we were required to, because I made a balloon arch for my daughter's birthday, made a whole decoration wall. Like we were grocery shopping, we were getting things ready. So like, damn, that kind of sucked, like going to bed that late, but you do it. It looked differently that day than it would any other day. It's not ideal, but we got it done. Uh, we watched my husband watched a YouTube video that really resonated, that he's talking a lot about mindset as well. And he's saying that he was going to Spain, flying from the States, going to Spain to have his daughter be baptized over there. And they show up to the airport. They had called months in advance saying, we're going to have an infant, a newborn infant when we show up. They're like, oh, no problem. Like, you just pay a fee. She'll get added to your ticket. They show up to the gate and they're like, no, we can't let that baby on. She needs more. There was something else that you had to do that obviously the airline hadn't said anything. And so they ended up in having to stay in a hotel, get a flight the next day. And the flight took them to London instead of Spain. So now they had a connected flight. And then once they got to Spain, it wasn't the exact destination that they were able to get. So then they had to take an overnight train. And he was talking about like everything in him wanted to be like, this is not fair. Oh my God, it's not fair. Why does this happen to me? Life's not fair. But he had worked so hard on his mindset for the last couple of years that he didn't. He just kept reminding himself, like, he told himself, I love you. I love you. You are doing well. Like, keep it up. Like, which we've talked about, like the whole, like, look in the mirror and say, I love you. So it was a nice, gentle reminder to remind you to be telling yourself good things. But like, he just had the mental strength to talk himself off that ledge of like, listen, like you complaining right now is not going to do jack shit. It's just going to make the situation worse. You're going to get your wife upset, like the baby's upset, like everybody's upset. Like you're going to have to, like, it sucks. It does fucking suck. Nobody fucking wants that to happen. But that's how life is. It's going to hand you a bunch of shitty cards and be like, hey, you thought you were having the perfect day? Boom. Your car broke down. Boom. Like, I don't know, your girlfriend broke up with you. Something happened. And you're going to have to realize that's just how life is. And you have to handle and roll with those punches. And so it's just kind of like another gentle reminder of like, you fucking got this. It's not going to be easy, but like work hard on talking good to yourself in your head and working on talking yourself through like those tough times. Right. And it seems like when you're in it, it's like the world is ending. The world is fucking ending. My car broke down. I don't have money right now. Whatever the case may be. And it does feel like that. When you're in it, it feels like that. But I like to tell my daughter, let's think through, let's take a step back. We like to play this game. What's the worst thing that can happen? Because she has high anxiety. She really does for like a third grader. And she says, I'm going to fail this test. And I'm like, okay. So like, let's follow that train of thought. So like, you don't feel prepared for this test right now. Like, what's going to happen? She's like, well, I'll fail. Okay. Follow that train of thought. Like, because failing a test, like you don't get in trouble at home. Like, it's not like, I don't know, like what's then the worst thing? She goes, well, I'm going to fail the third grade. Okay. And then what would happen if you did fail the third grade? Well, I would have to stay behind. Maybe like my friends would move on and I wouldn't. And I'm like, okay, that's a valid fear. You're afraid of like falling behind while your friend group is going there. Okay. But how many steps would have to happen before you genuinely fail third grade? Your teacher would have to genuinely just like let that happen and nobody would be helping you. I would have to let that happen. Your dad would have to let that happen. Your mom would have to let that happen. Like you would have to let that happen. You're taking one tiny moment and snowballing it into something that would like realistically have so many things in the way to stop that from ever getting to that point. But you're focusing on that endpoint that's not even near you right now. You are going down we call it spiraling. You're spiraling. Like stop. Stop spiraling. You need to handle this one thing right now and say, okay, my fear is I'll fail that test, which will then lead to this spiral. How can I just focus on not failing this test? How can I just piecemeal my fear to make it more manageable? And so it was kind of one of those things, like it was nice seeing somebody else talk about it as well. I was talking to my mom a lot about it this weekend as well. And I was like, oh, this would be like something cool to talk to everybody on the podcast. It always feels like so much. It always feels so much, but you're valid. You are valid. You're not alone. I'm not going to tell you like, oh, what an unrealistic fear to have. It's like, no, you are. That's like emotion is getting in there, but we need to remove that emotion and think through it logically. And a lot of times you'll realize like, I think I'm good. And another thing just to touch on is so funny because it's always hard as somebody that's not in the situation, right? To try to help the person in the situation because you get what it feels like. You always want to be like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But when you're in that situation, the last fucking thing you want to hear, that's always the last thing you want to say. Don't fucking tell me it's going to be okay. You don't know. You don't know. And so when I got together with my husband, I was like, listen, I'm a fan of the theatrics. I am such a drama queen. Like the world is ending. Like it is what it is. This was obviously way before I worked on my mindset. And so I told him, I was like, honestly, the best advice I could give you is just out drama me, like out drama queen me. And I will then see how dramatic you sound. And I will like almost like digress. Right. So it's like, oh my God, my car broke down. I'm never going to be able to get it fixed. Nobody's going to know how to fix it. And Ryan would literally be like, I know, like there's never in the history of the world been anything that looked this bad. I don't know how it's going to get fixed. Like nobody's gone to school for this. There's no parts for this. Nobody's going to understand. And I'm like, oh, calm down. Somebody knows how to fix it. So sometimes you almost have to out drama yourself too. Like if you have no other way, just like out dramatic yourself or record yourself being dramatic and listen to it back and realize how silly you sound. I found that helps. It really does. I don't know. There's a lot of tips and tricks to get yourself out of that situation, but humor, I always go for the humor, right? So like if humor is your way of doing it, sometimes just record yourself bitching and moaning into the phone and hear yourself back and just be like, ew, you drama queen, shut the fuck up. Let's go. Okay. Anyway, well, this was a good session. I'm sorry I'm late on today. For the for my few friends that probably noticed. But I hope everyone has the best day. Remember to tell yourself you love yourself today. Remember to help talk yourself off ledges. Practice that skill set. But I hope you all have the best day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.